Good day to be indigenous.
Stand up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hitting cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news, and as you know, Wendy, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Absolutely.
Hey, we got State Senator Mary Kunesh coming on up later on in the show, and I, and then Wendy with your sacred animal portion of the show. Really appreciate you coming on and doing it again and again. And you are the co-founder of Native Roots Radio, and we've been really blessed to have this show and have people like. Well, yourself, you have a whole segment, but also like State Senator Mary Kunesh, Bob Blake from Red Lake. I just had to throw that name in there. Arvina Martin, Emerge, Wisconsin, and another Ho-Chunk. And, of course, Dr. Stately. He's been doing a lot of traveling lately, but he gives you his best. He texted me and said, wish Wendy his best. So
yeah.
He's still in the groove. And, of course, Robert Lilligren. I got to give him a big shout-out because he was with me almost a whole hour and a half at the 50th anniversary gala last week for the Indian Center in Minneapolis, and that was really fun.
Ruth and Buffalo.
Yes, we always appreciate her updates of what's going on in Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center. That's been around 40 years, so we love amplifying people's voices here, and I couldn't read what you're saying.
Oh, I was saying Heather Keeler,
State Representative Heather Keeler.
Yeah,
yes,
she's on.
Yeah, well,
quite often.
Yeah, every other week she's on the other week schedule. And
yeah,
I want to give a shout out too to Big Guitars, VIG. Angela comes on to the show and talks about her store being the number one guitar store, but also it's a Native-owned store, and it's on Snelling Avenue in Minnesota, right on the way to the fairgrounds. If you're on Snelling Avenue, you get off the freeway.
Is it VIGG or VIG?
VIG.
VIG.
Yeah, Big Guitars. Hey, do you want to give us any kind of preview of what you're going to talk about in the last segment?
I'm going to share a couple of quotes from my hero who just passed away, Jane Goodall, Dr. Jane Goodall. I have a couple of her quotes. I mean, I can't, talk about all her quotes because I'd be here all day and it'd be a whole hour show, but just a few really good ones. And then I have a couple updates about animals in captivity that I just want to bring up. I know it's Friday and it should be Fun Fact Friday, but yesterday's show was pretty funny if you want to listen to that. But
that reminds to let everybody know, Wendy, that we're on social media and you can catch our broadcasts. And I know a lot of these Gen Zers download the show. Really? I was surprised.
Oh, isn't that fun?
I was surprised to see how many people downloaded the show and listened to it.
It's amazing.
It's in the hundreds, and I thought it'd be 5 or 10.
And then just to mention that this year again, Native Roots Trading Post will be at Dayton's in downtown Minneapolis. I think it starts like November 13th. I don't have the date right in front of me, or I could probably look it up really quick.
Well,
but
let's just give them a teaser. It's coming out during the Christmas, and also there's a new
November 13th, Dayton's Market opens.
There's also a new, and I'm going to be checking it out on the 8th, our spot at Southdale, and that's
Southdale Mall.
And what's the name of that business? It's not Native Roots Trading Post.
It's Bobby's Basement Bazaar.
Bonanza.
Oh,
you can find
it.
We can find it on Instagram
today. Let's hold on.
And I can't say Bonanza. Did you catch that?
It is Bonanza. Bobby's Basement Bonanza.
And why is that significance in the basement?
Well, for those of you out there listening, We have a basement full of Bobby's treasures, Robert's treasures that we've collected. Well, he's collected
You've
over the
helped.
past 25 years. No, I don't collect stuff. So we will be thinning out all his treasures, and he has got a lot of really good memorabilia, baseball memorabilia that's kind of like really old and worth a lot of money. So
Yeah.
we're going to be pricing it to go.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have some of my actual some of my
Paintings.
paintings, yeah,
And
original art and some prints.
You know, and that those really have gone well over the years at Native Roots Trading Post and also at the State Fair. So be aware that I think that'll be the only place that you'll be able to get your art is at
Yeah.
And then the Instagram too. We'll be selling things off Instagram. Not that this is a whole commercial about
Yeah,
that,
no,
but
I'm not going to be selling my art on Instagram.
just your prints.
Just the prints, yeah.
Yeah. And
so,
cards.
Yeah, so I've been
bandanas.
dabbling a lot in all different kinds of stuff. You know how like an artist, like if you go see their show, like that woman that we went to at the Minnesota State Fair, she just painted all baby animals. Like that was her theme.
Yeah.
All of her art was kind of the
White
same
background.
colors, like, you know, beautiful. I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful. I wish I could paint like her. Like seriously, she's just unbelievable. But anyway, I'm kind of all over the place. Like, I do like watercolor, I do acrylics. I haven't done any oils just because I have a small space and they're kind of a little bit smelly, but they're a little bit harder to work with. But anyway, but it's not like one thing. Like I do a lot of animals, I do a lot of dogs, I do a lot of scenery, I do a lot of everything. So
yeah, you were doing
just whatever comes to my mind and when
and
I'm
you
in
have
the
a
mood.
Facebook page too if
I
people
do.
want to check
if
it
you
out.
want to check it out, it's called Pilot's Palette.
That's hard to say.
Pilot's Palette, and that's
Bobby's basement.
You
on
could
Facebook.
you could look it up on Facebook.
Yeah.
I haven't even updated it lately. I really
But you get a
should
good
do it.
idea of what
Of my
you've been
art,
doing,
yeah.
and you did a period of time you painted people's dogs and animals,
Yeah.
and that was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. It's very fulfilling to do that, especially, you know, if somebody has a dog that's passed, you know, and they want a painting of it just to keep. It's always my pleasure to do that. I always ask them to like tell me about your dog or like write me a paragraph so that while I'm painting it, like I can think about the dog. Oh, you know, Lucky liked to run and chase squirrels and, you know.
Well, and I know what's really important for you is the eyes. When you catch the eyes, it's people notice that. And I know you just painted a dog at one of the places,
Zimmerman's Dry Goods on Grand Avenue in St. Paul. It's a printing shop. We get t-shirts and stuff from him. And he has a dog that's in the shop with him every day. And when we walk in, the first thing I do is yell, Zelda! That's the dog's name. And Zelda comes bolting to the front of the store from the back. And she is just such a good dog. I just love her. She goes right on her back and expects belly rubs, and she's just such a happy dog. And she goes to work every day with her owner, and you know, they do really good business there. And so anyway, the last time we were there last week, I was just taking some pictures of Zelda. And I was like, oh, I keep telling him, I'm going to paint your dog. I'm going to paint your dog. And then I'm into all this other stuff. So I finally painted it in watercolor on a 5x7. It came out really good, I thought.
Really good.
And so I just have to write the card and bring it in and give it to him.
Yeah, definitely.
So
He'll be happy to see that.
Yeah. It's kinda,
yeah. Well, and you know, too, it really warms my heart too, because how important I think in the whole universe our sacred animals are, and especially our dogs. Family members, so big in the Native community, and it's fun when we see these old pictures with Native American in front of their teepee or something, and there's a old scraggly dog right next to him.
Yeah, I know. Dogs have been domesticated for millions of years, and they've been by our side, and they've, you know, they're in tune to us. They know. She knows
they really do.
We're going for a walk or a ride in the car.
Or when you're talking about another dog, which you were.
Or if I pet Zelda and come home, boy, Wanda knows. Woo, she gives me the stink eye.
Yes, she does. Hey, up next, State Senator Mary Kunesh, and we always love having her and having an update of what's going on in her life and also what's happening at the Capitol, national and locally. We'll be right back.
Stay with us.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Your heart beats for generations.
Your heart is so many things. It beats all the time, and it works very hard to keep you moving through your day, keeping your thoughts clear. It's the most important organ in your body.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. Taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats. That's hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NAGD. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nagd.org.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. We have our friend, Minnesota State Senator Mary Kunesh here on the air here, and we're always grateful for her to spend some time with us, as always, each week here on Native Roots Radio. And it's always a breath of fresh air, State Senator. You're always really positive, and even if you're not positive, you sound positive. So that's always a good thing, but rarely is that the case. And I appreciate you checking in and really putting a good positive spin on things. Yesterday was Orange. Well, first of all, welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here, everybody.
Right on. And well, yesterday was Orange Shirt Day, and we've talked about that over the years and how important it is. And I saw a lot of great pictures pop up on my social media feed. And it's great to see that people are still really involved with that.
Yeah, I'm still sporting orange. I'm thinking I'll try to wear as much orange over the next month as well, because people ask you, and I have a couple of shirts that, has the Every Child Matters on it too. But it's really an important day, and it's a really good reminder of the things that our ancestors have experienced, especially in the residential schools when kids were literally stolen from their families. Families were coerced into sending them to boarding school with threats of, we'll take the rest of your kids. You aren't going to get any of the commodity foods. All kinds of horrible things threatened against them if they didn't send their kids to boarding school. And then, of course, we know the atrocities of those boarding schools. Many kids did not come home. And I saw a statement somewhere that said, schools should not have cemeteries. Yeah. I mean, come on. It's as simple as that. And of course, they're finding a lot of the students did not make it home because of death, whether it was because of illness that they contracted while they were there and didn't have the health care or didn't have the resistance, the physical resistance against it. There was a lot of abuse. We know that there was a lot of abuse. Many girls were impregnated while in boarding school. And I'm afraid I don't remember the documentary story just that came out of Canada, where these young girls were, raped, of course, against their will and became pregnant. And those babies were literally incarcerated and disposed of. Oftentimes in the order of the priest, who was the one who impregnated them. So there were a lot of horrible stories. I know, I think every family has their story. And I've told the story of my grandpa's brother who was sent out to Carlisle, and he left, ran away a number of times, made it home. They took him back. And it wasn't until he was running away with jumping trains and fell off and his leg was cut off. And then they let him go home. So those are the kind of horror stories that our families have been living with generation after generation. And, if you remember, some of those boarding schools did not close so long ago.
Right. Yeah. 1998, I think was the last one that was open. I always think of State Senator, I always think of that picture of people posting their teepee outside the school, and that their child was stolen and that they were out there camped outside the school. And I see that picture and it really, really hits home.
Oh my gosh, does it ever? I know exactly which picture it is, or the picture of the before and after where the young kids are, arrive at the boarding school in their clothing that they wore from home with precious relics to remember their family with, some of them very sacred. All of those things were removed. Their hair was cut. They were forced to wear, white people's clothing, not allowed to speak their language, practice any of their, spiritual, religious practices. I mean, they were ready to beat it up. But, and it's weird because a lot of Native people left the boarding schools and had productive lives in a way that they were able to cope with it while others did not. And I think we're still seeing the relics of mental health and addiction to this day. And so it's important that we remember, and it's important that the public remembers. And once again, it provides an opportunity for us to educate folks. Last night I was at an informational kind of fundraiser for the sacred site Owamini. It's the old lock and dam on Minneapolis, down in Minneapolis, and we are. It's been returned to the Dakota people, and I'm on the board, and we've been working on restoring it and returning it to, Unchimaka, to Mother Earth, in the best way. And there were, white non-Native folks outnumbered us Native folks probably 6-1. And Shelley Buck was there, and she had her Every Child Matters, her orange shirt and her skirt. And she gave a little lesson on that. And, people were basically riveted. Some of the people knew about that and others didn't. And so any opportunity we can to educate folks, I think, is really important.
That's a big ditto. We had a show yesterday for the local Twin Cities of the Minneapolis mayoral kind of get to know you debate, and I was live out there. And my co-host that does the Gailey Show on AM 950, I was talking about it, and he had never heard of it, and he's definitely an ally. And it's just, again, I'm amplifying what you're saying. We need to talk about it. We know about it. It's our allies and people that don't know about it. So we should almost have a whole month on this. Really, It's just crazy.
Yeah, I kind of plan to do it. I've done it a couple of years and pull out everything that's orange or has an orange hue to it, or as I said, I have a couple of Every Child Matters shirts, and people always kind of look at it, and if I feel like they're approachable enough, I might just go into it.
Was that from Grandma Mary Lyons? The shirt? Because I have one that she made me that says that on there. I wore yesterday.
I have one from her.
Okay.
I have one from Canada.
Oh.
I have a black one with orange on it. And I'm not sure where I picked that one up, but a couple of them. Yeah.
I really believe too, it's really taken off here in Native country too. I think I was really happily surprised by all the postings. I know, for instance, Ho Chunk, the casinos, all the workers were wearing orange, and I don't remember that. It could have happened before, but I don't remember that. And they took a big picture in front of their businesses, and so I believe it's catching on, and I think people more and more are, especially in Indian country, representing that, so people do talk about it, and we don't forget, because I agree 100%. I think you said it too, is that everybody that's Native American has had some kind of relative in boarding school.
And it's not even just boarding school, but public school for a long time did not do our children justice either. And so, we have Indigenous Peoples Day coming up, and in Minnesota, by law, schools, here's a reminder for schools, they have to dedicate at least just 1 hour, to a lesson or acknowledgement of Indigenous Peoples Day. And that's something that we, had to mandate into law. But we also changed the Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day here in Minnesota. So that's coming up, and it's another opportunity to, help understand what's going on and what has gone on in Indian country.
Absolutely. And I know you had a lot to do with St. Paul too, even though when I taught in St. Paul, we smudged all the time. We had a really good principal that really saw it. And we had, Harding was pretty much a magnet school for St. Paul Native Americans. We taught Lakota and Ojibwe, and had art classes, and I had the first homeroom that was all Native, but then it became a law with John. And I know you were friends with John, the passing, and but that's happening now, and it didn't happen that long ago.
Right. We, again, not every school would allow smudging, or, there were rules against lighting a fire, or, lighting something like that would set off alarms. But we did pass that law that would allow schools to allow students to smudge in schools. I think that's a big deal.
It's huge. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we're here with Minnesota State Senator Mary Kunesh, and we'll be right back after this short break. Please stay with us.
Hey, this is Patrick for Zero Res. Did you know that August is Pet Appreciation Month? Zero Res is safe for all pets with no harsh soaps or chemicals in their cleaning products. If you have a pet like I do, you know they like to leave little bits of themselves around the house, whether that's fur or dander or worse, and you should call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res to get things back in shape in your house. Carpet, tile, hardwood, rugs, upholstery, air ducts, every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. If you haven't tried out Zero Res, or it's been months since your last deep clean, then now is the time to call. Right now you can get your entire home Zero Resified from Minnesota's ultimate carpet cleaner, and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $149. Take 15% off pet odor treatments and 50% off an air duct cleaning. Schedule your appointment today at ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 9520-RES and ask for the AM 950 special. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res.
Hi, this is Frank Brown of Minuteman Press Uptown with a question for our listeners. How important are business values to you? When you need high-quality digital print, it matters who you work with. You see, Minuteman Uptown is unique. We're one of the only union print shops in Minnesota providing our team with living wages and benefits. We believe in second chances for justice-impacted individuals who want to contribute to the community, and we are active in local issues. We've been in the streets standing up for racial, social, and economic justice. At Minuteman Uptown, our mission is to connect all communities through technology-driven print solutions. An example of that mission is when I moved Minuteman Uptown to North Minneapolis. We're invested in this local community, and we help small businesses and local organizations throughout the Twin Cities reach their audiences. Reach out to Minuteman Uptown and partner with a printer that shares your values. Call us today at 612-870-0777 or visit us at mpuptown.com. That's mpuptown.com.
Hi, I'm Peter Solak.
And I'm Adam Ostrowski.
We are here at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces to talk about the joy of live fire cooking. Cooking over a live fire is the oldest and most basic form of cooking.
What's new is in the way a fire is handled and its heat is managed.
It's easier to experience and enjoy the smell and taste of food cooked over a live fire.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces sells and installs live fire grills, fire pits, and ovens. Let us help you experience the smell, the taste, the fun of cooking with fire.
Pizza was first made and is still best made in an open fire oven. The radiant and conductive heat of a live fire is unmatched for wood roasting and baking artisan breads too.
Come see the many ways you can cook over a live fire.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces has over 35 working wood and gas units on display at the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis. More information at woodlandstoves.com. Find the fire that works for you. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. Out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
Oh, this is Dallas Goldtooth, and you're listening to the Native Roots Radio. Hoka, hicha, wecha.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. I am here with State Senator Mary Kunesh from the great state of Minnesota, and we're getting together here, our weekly talk about what's happening nationally, locally, and spiritually. One thing I know you wanted to give a shout out to the Minneapolis Indian Center's 50th anniversary, and I ran into somebody that was talking about you and your family, but really, really interesting.
In a good way?
In a great way. That's
okay.
But yeah, the way it sounded, right? In a good way. And, you know, the history of your family and with Standing Rock and all that. But I'll let you take it away, and we can talk a little bit about that, because it's always good to bring this up. I know about your family history, but there's always new listeners, and so it's good to talk about.
Yeah, I love to talk about my ancestors. I love to learn about my ancestors. My brother has done like really extensive genealogy. I find it absolutely fascinating. But I think what you're referring to is my great aunt, Josephine Gates Kelly. She actually married to my uncle, Kelly, who I just told you about, you know, him being out at Carlisle and trying to get home and had his leg cut off. So they met out at Carlisle when they were both at the boarding school. And actually growing up, we would, you know, it was always, we heard a lot about her because she became very politically involved, but she also was very, very proud of the fact that she taught Jim Thorpe to dance.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that might have helped him in his dexterity with his sporting ability. But Josephine Gates Kelly was born out on the Standing Rock Reservation in Cannonball, North Dakota. Her mom was Nellie Bears Gates, Nellie Two Bear Gates. So she's, that line of family are the Two Bears, which again is extremely fascinating line of our family history. And she ended up going to Carlisle, graduated in the early 1900s. She was the first female graduate from Carlisle. And so she was very well educated, very polished, shall we say, and ended up working for the governor in North Dakota.
Wow.
And then she went home and got involved in politics. The story that we've been told is that when she went back to Standing Rock, she was very nervous and apprehensive about going back because she had never been back since that she was removed. And her family was nervous that she would not feel comfortable. So they ended up building her, a regular wooden 4-wall house. They still lived in their teepees and whatnot and furnished it for her. And she went back and lived in that little house for a while. And then one day she just packed up her things, closed the door, and went back to live, in the teepee life that her family still was. But she got involved in politics in the 30s, especially around the Indian Reorganization Act. She, of course, they never had any money out there to get people to travel, so she would hitchhike. She'd hitchhike to Washington, D.C., oftentimes via Chicago, because my Uncle Colley's sister, Susan Powers, lived there and created the Chicago Indian Center. But she worked hard for her tribe, and I think of her as one of the original water protectors. There's the Oahu Dam out there where they flooded some of the best farmland that the Indians were living on and prospering on. And of course, they had to put up a dam, flooded the entire village, and they were all displaced and had to restart again. And that was super tragedy. And I have a newspaper article that talks about her going to DC and fighting against that. So, and because of all of that, and I think because of her education, she was elected to serve as a member of the Standing Rock Tribal Council. And I don't know, I think she was actually they put her in there. I don't know that she actually ran for that position. She served, and she was the first woman to serve as the first woman to serve as the chair of the Standing Rock Nation.
That's amazing. And it really is amazing. And with Standing Rock and kind of where Native Roots Radio came from because of the No DAPL that happened in 2016 and into 2017, the Dakota Gas Pipeline. This is how Native Roots Radio show started because of that. So it's fun to hear, how things are connected, and we're all connected because there was so much misinformation out there. That's why we started Native Roots Radio.
Yeah. Lack of information, misinformation. It's been a problem for a long time. But again, as more and more Native folks get into positions of being able to collect that data, recognize, what happened, and be able to articulate it in a way that we can make it public, I think more and more we're going to become better educated and around these issues. The non-Native folks are going to be better educated, and hopefully it kind of propels us into positions where we can make really positive change for Indian country. And we're seeing that more and more. I know that our state reps, Heather Keeler and Leish Koslowski, are out in Washington, D.C. right now. And what a time to be out there fighting for our boundary water canoe area. So please send them good wishes and strength and courage and power It's not an easy time to be fighting for something as important as the boundary waters when we have forces that are working against it.
Yeah, and I don't know if we want to get into this, but one of the things that was very interesting when Trump was talking to all the generals is he basically wanted to go up against war against his own people, and that's been. I don't think most of the generals in that audience were taking likely to that because they were sworn to the Constitution and been around a lot longer than Trump's folly. But it is a hard time to be in Washington right now. So yeah, big shout out to those two doing the great work, and but it's got to be for you and everybody connected in politics. It's got to be really rough right now. I mean, just really rough on your psyche and all those things. And I ask everyone, and I don't know if I've asked you, but I kind of know because I know you a little bit with your grandchildren. What do you do to take care of your soul during these times?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff going on.
There is so much going on, but I'll tell you, nothing returns brings you to your good place better than holding a little tiny baby.
Yeah.
So if you can get out and hold a tiny baby somewhere, you guys, sing to them, rock them, coo to them. It's amazing the endorphins you get from those little guys. But really and truly for me, getting out into nature, getting to the water is really important. I know folks are kind of complaining because it's still so hot here in Minnesota, and here it is October. But for me, this is like the best time. It's warm. There's a breeze. The waters are still kind of beautiful in a lot of areas. The trees are changing color. You get out there, and if you listen to the trees and listen to nature, a good long hour walk can be really reviving.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Definitely, and just getting your feet on the ground too, barefoot. Well, we have our grandbabies over here too, and not only are they are very inspiring. It gives us good reason to fight and fight back and stay in the fight too. And
100%.
And thinking about what are we leaving these young ones, and we always talk about, State Senator, the next 7 generations.
Yep. We look ahead. Like I said, I love to do genealogy or look at the genealogy, and I think what compelled my ancestor to do this or to move here or to make this choice or that choice. Where was alcohol introduced or whatever it was that led this person down this row and that person down that avenue. But I think about how did I get here in this day and age and be in an opportunity to do the work that I do at the Minnesota State Legislature, or, my 20 years of teaching, which
Right.
I absolutely loved. But I grew up hearing these stories about resistance and fortitude and hard work, always sort of, farming or agriculture or out, the land, the water, that's what we're protecting. And so kind of with those as my core, it really brings me into this work. And we never know where our lives are going to take us, right? Did you ever
Right.
know you were going to become a radio host or
No.
do the things that you're doing? I really didn't anticipate much of this, but here I am.
Well, and I was a teacher too, and I never anticipated that, especially when I was in high school ditching all the time and doing bad things under the football stadium. But that's a whole nother different show. But yeah, you don't know where the journey takes us.
Yeah.
I'd really next time we're on, I'd like to do more of a longer show with you and talk about your journey, because as we're talking, I know your past history and how you started as a single mom and all those things that really brought you where you are right now.
Mhm.
And I'd really like to remind our audience on this great story. But I always appreciate you coming on, and thank you so much, as always, State Senator Mary Kunesh.
Doksha. Wafilatanka, everybody. Take care and have a great week.
Hey, everybody, we'll be right back. This is Native Roots Radio. A big Peenigigi to State Senator Mary Kunesh of the great state of Minnesota. We'll be right back.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Peenigigi, and thank you for your support.
Your heart beats for generations.
Your heart is so many things. It beats all the time, and it works very hard to keep you moving through your day, keeping your thoughts clear. It's the most important organ in your body.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. Taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats. That's hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NAGD. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nagd.org.
Hi, I'm Tiergan. And I'm Hadley. We're two of the very first listeners, and we're still listening to Native Roots Radio.
Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, I just want to introduce before I do that.
In this portion of the show, we would like to bring awareness to our Minnesota and Wisconsin and all the wolves in the United States population. Say no to the hunts.
No.
Oh. Need my mic a little. I can't hear.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. Hey, everybody. My name is Hanajihihani. That means cares for them. And I was given that name by my Dega Curtis.
Can you hear now?
Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I am a policy volunteer for Humane World for Animals, formerly known as the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on animal issues at the local and state level. Always my pleasure to do that. So I've been talking about this yesterday. My hero, Jane Goodall, passed away at 91. Dr. Jane Goodall. I'm sure many of you know who she was. She lived in Africa and Tanzania for many years, and she studied chimpanzees, and she really did groundbreaking work. She has the Jane Goodall Foundation and other organizations that she helps people and animals and all kinds of things. So I just love her. And I was so happy that Robert and I got to see her in person last year on her 90th, around her 90th birthday. We saw her, I thought it was January, but maybe it was April. I can't remember. I'd have to look back. We saw her in New York City at a theater, and she was just unbelievable. But I just have 3 quotes here from her. There's a million of quotes from her, and she's really impactful. But so on a personal impact, she said, "What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of a difference you want to make." I love that quote because, what you do does make a difference. So you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make. And for the animals, she said, the least I can do is speak out for those who cannot speak out for themselves or speak for themselves. Yeah, I usually always say that too. She's, that's something else. She also said, I was taught by my mother that if you really want something and if you work hard and never give up, you will find a way.
Oh, that's a good one.
She did that, she had perseverance, and she really, she always wanted to be in Africa. She wanted to work with animals, and she did it even after, she was told that, she's just a girl and she can't do it or whatever, but she really did it. But anyway, I have really good news. This is something I care about. So if you hear that noise, that's our dog Wanda. She's decided she doesn't want to sleep on her little cushion that she's like laying on Robert's backpack that he has, just like laying on the floor. Oh, there's her little cough she's got. But anyway, Lowe's Home Improvements.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have banned the online sale of cruel glue traps on which animals often suffer for days before dying. This leap forward comes after years of working behind the scenes with PETA. So I just want to ask ask everybody out there, if you have a rodent problem, a mouse problem, please do not use glue traps. They're just horrific and just so inhumane. It's just horrible. So please don't do that.
Right.
Yeah. So the other thing I want to talk about is these beautiful animals in our ocean, orcas and all these dolphins. I just yesterday talked about a dolphin, a pink dolphin, actually.
Yes.
Pinky. Yeah. In the vastness of the ocean, orcas are built to roam. They can travel up to 100 miles a day, diving deep and moving through dynamic landscapes. But in captivity, their world shrinks to a fraction of its natural size, and their behavior changes dramatically. These beautiful animals, again, they are just caught and brought into these aquariums where they're kept in teeny tiny tanks and forced to do tricks for people, which is really horrible. Again, the glue traps, ditch them. Please don't support SeaWorld or other aquariums. A recent study, Case Against Marine Mammals in Captivity, it's CAMMIC report, observed one captive male orca spending nearly 70% of its time virtually motionless, floating at the surface or diving slowly through the water. For a species evolved to be in constant motion, this stillness is telling. Scientists note that such inactivity is rare in the wild, where orcas are almost always swimming, socializing, or hunting with their pods. This behavior raises questions about the impact of confinement on the mental and physical health of these intelligent mammals. Extended immobility can lead to stress, muscle atrophy, and other health complications, while also highlighting the stark contrast between life in open oceans and limited space of marine parks. The study adds to the growing body of evidence that captivity alters natural behaviors, and it continues to fuel conversations about how we care for and understand these remarkable creatures, animals whose vitality depends on the freedom of the sea. I'm asking you to please boycott all aquariums and SeaWorld who keep these beautiful creatures in captivity. So it's not even orcas, it's all seals, walruses, all of them. Yeah. It's just when you know, so you know now. Right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah. I think I talked about this same article a while back, but I always like to bring it up again, just as a reminder.
Well,
So,
I like what you said, when you know, because I didn't know a lot of things too
Mhm.
until you and I are together, and
Yep.
then also the last 9 years here on
Mhm.
the things you've brought up.
Yeah. No, listen, I've done a lot of stupid things. I
Oh.
swam with dolphins, Robert. We did that
I was there.
on our honeymoon. That
I
was
was
just about almost 25 years ago.
I was a young man
I didn't
then.
know. I didn't know anything about this. I mean, I think I would have went to SeaWorld back then and not even really. I might have
Right.
thought like, wow, these poor animals, but I never really understood the impact on them.
I always felt, though, when it came to like eating before you became vegan
Mhm.
and the way animals were treated, that you always kind of had an inkling, a gut feeling
Mhm.
over the years. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that true?
It is true. I believe it is
Like, you
true.
didn't want to eat meat when you were young, and you and your mom
No.
had it out when you were really young.
Yeah, really young. But then, as a small child, you're forced to do things, or else you get punished. So,
Oh,
but
can we do that to our grandkids?
oh gosh, no.
Oh, good.
They don't want to eat anything. I'm not going to force. I'm never going to force a child to eat. I think that's like
Yeah.
the worst thing that you could do.
God,
We were
it was so
forced to
common.
eat.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we were forced to eat.
I think the
You
only thing
can't
I
leave-
really didn't like is spinach. And it was
Oh.
like the texture.
Oh.
I'd probably eat it now, but we never eat spinach, do we?
I never make spinach. No, not cooked. Sometimes I'll have a spinach salad. But elephants have the largest brain of any land animal. Their brain can weigh up to over 11 pounds. So that's bigger than Wanda. Elephants can recognize themselves in mirrors, mourn their dead, remember water sources from decades ago,
Hmm.
and show empathy towards other species.
Yes, they do. We've seen elephants save other little baby elephants over the years.
Yes, and we don't want people going to see them in zoos either, where
Or-
they're captive because they walk
Or
30,
circuses.
50 miles a day, or circuses. Thank you very much.
Hey, Wendy, thanks a lot. This has been Native Roots Radio, and it's been our Sacred Animal portion with Wendy Pilot. We're still here. We are the seventh generation. See you next week.